Hello and welcome to Warrior Moms. I am Michele Davis.
And I'm Amy, and we are so excited. Today we have a very special
Melissa.
guest, Melissa, who is Michele's sister. So, Michele, tell us a little bit about Melissa.
Yes, hi.
Hello.
So I have, so Melissa Crouch is my youngest sister. We are 11 years apart, although she's one of my very best friends. And to me, we're the exact same age. I might have a few more wrinkles than she does, but
No, hardly.
it does not feel like there's 11 years between us. And Amy and I asked Melissa to be here to really kick off our siblings series as, we wanted to talk about the idea of, that grief of this loss isn't just about the loss that us moms feel, that losing a child really reverberates and lands on all of us. And
Yes, it affects the whole family. We get so much, I shouldn't get so much attention, but we do.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, how's the mom? How's the mom? It's kind of like we call the siblings, like the siblings are they're forgotten. They just, so much emphasis is put on moms. And so I love, because you were an aunt to Carter, and you were probably closer to Carter's age than you were your sister's age, apparently, right? I know my sister.
Right.
My sister's 7 years younger than I am, and she babysat my son so much.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a couple of years to kind of dive in and think to myself, gosh, she helped raise him.
Oh.
And I'm sure that, anyway, so
yeah. And
what's y'all's relationship in that? Like, how close were y'all?
Oh, man. So I lived with Michele and Jeremy and Carter. We were roomies. And in fact, Carter and I shared a bedroom, and that he was a kindergartner. And that first time I lived with Michele and Jeremy, I was student teaching and got placed in Denver. And gosh, that was just a precious time in my life, because here I am, a college kid, and in my partying ways. And here's Michele and Jeremy opening their home to me with a young child. I mean, that in itself is a testament to Michele and Jeremy.
Yes.
And Carter,
and she adopted a dog in the middle of it too.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, that was. Let's add some more chaos.
Who adopted the dog?
Melissa
I did.
Melissa.
I know. Oh, geez. Yeah. So Carter would kind of crawl over to my bed and, hey, Isa, can I come in with you? Yeah, come on. And him and I were definitely best buds for sure. And then I lived with them again. When, I was graduated from college and trying to find my first teaching job. And so they opened their home again to me. And Carter then was at the same elementary school when I got my first teaching job. And so that was really special. So Carter would come with me to school. We'd do homework after school in my class as I'm like setting up for the next day. And those times are just so precious to me.
It's just a bond that people don't. I'm gonna cry for you.
I know.
That's just a bond you can't create. It grows, and it just
Well, and then when I got engaged, Carter.
Well, even before the engagement, right? The first.
Oh yeah. So my husband was good friends with my brother-in-law, Jeremy, Michelle's husband, and Carter's dad. And Jeremy was like, "Do you want me to set you up on a date?" Because I just was having a hard time meeting people and finding friends. And I was like, I think I might move back to Rapid City. I just am not finding my people here. And Jeremy's like, "Wow, I'll set you up." And I'm like, "Oh, that's just too weird."
Yeah,
I don't know.
He just wanted you out of his house.
Yeah, exactly. So Jeremy invited Ken. We had gone on like one date and invited Ken to come home with us. So here we are, Carter, me,
Rapid
Michele,
City from
Jeremy,
Denver.
Ken. I've gone on one date with this man. I'm like, Jeremy, he's going to think I set you up to do this, you know? And in the car, Carter goes, Issa Crouch. It's got a ring to it. I'm like, Carter, no, this guy's going to think I'm nuts. Just so cute. Yeah.
That was so cute. But then
I
that
know.
spring, was it that spring or fall that you got engaged?
That spring. We only
Yeah.
dated like 7 months.
Yeah.
Was
Yep.
Carter at the
Carter was
wedding?
right there. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. He was our ring bearer.
Love it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I love it.
So,
Now take us can I go here, Michele,
yeah,
already?
go.
Yeah. Take us to when you found out about
The tragedy.
the tragedy.
So the night before, I just remember not being able to sleep and being really just anxious feeling. And so I actually went out to our family room and just was like trying to sleep on the couch. I just
Yeah.
didn't feel well. And my niece, Sky, who's the same age as Carter, called me and said, Michele and Jeremy can't find Carter. So then
And this
Michele
was like
called me.
5:30 in the morning.
Yeah. And Michele said, I'm driving with Greta and we're going to try and find Carter. So we got the call then that Carter had been murdered. And I remember running into the bedroom, and I had this black lab who was just a love, an angel dog. And I remember falling down into his dog bed and just falling apart,
Yeah.
And Ken said, okay, let's move into action. We called a neighbor, a dear friend of mine, and I said, my nephew was killed. Can you come and help with the boys? So she came over at like 6 a.m.
Now, how old are your boys at the time?
Everett was 2 and Bennett was 4.
Okay.
So of course they hear me crying. So the little boys wake up and, Mom, what's the matter? And I said, well, Carter's been really hurt. And Bennett, sorry, I have a tickle in my throat. Bennett said, well, Mommy, you got to go help him. You got to go fix it. And I said, yeah, I'm going to help Shell. I'm going to leave and I'm going to help Shell and Jeremy and Greta. And, and then I flew with my parents to go to Atlanta. But that was a really awful time, awful moment.
Y'all had just spent a lot of time together in the weeks before that, correct?
Yeah. Yep. It was kind of a tradition that Michele would bring Carter for his birthday. And he loved nothing more. You guys, my voice. I'm so sorry. Carter loved nothing more than to be with family.
Yeah.
And he loved the Black Hills and he loved camping. That was always his favorite. Michele, he wasn't a big cake fan. So Michele always got him this giant cookie with the icing that was like a tent and happy birthday, Carter. And so that week before he died, we were all in the Black Hills camping and hiking. And so
and
that
we had a birthday party the Friday night before he died, that Sunday night. And Melissa and Ken had given Carter their car, one of their cars, as a birthday present. And you would have thought they had given him, millions.
it was like a jalopy of a car, to be honest.
It didn't matter. It did not matter.
And he wrote us a thank you note. I still have the note in his little handwriting. And, Issa and Ken, I will take care of this car and I will respect this. It's such an honor to have it. Thank you. Just precious.
And in just a few days, that shows his character too. Just in those few days, It's
That's
not like he
true.
got home and was like, yeah, mom,
Yeah.
I'll do it later,
Yeah,
which
Yeah.
a lot of
No.
kids that
e-
age would do.
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, that is
I
precious.
know.
So y'all are on the plane. I bet you couldn't get a plane ticket fast enough, could you?
So our Aunt Debbie, who's in Texas, she went into action, bought us the plane tickets. Melanie and I grabbed all of the photo albums we could.
Mm-hmm.
On the way to the airport, we were grabbing every photo of Carter and everything and putting them in a bag, knowing that we would want to
Display
bring
them
those to the
somehow. Yeah.
funeral. Yeah.
and you somehow they grabbed every piece of precious like jewelry. It was rosaries and crosses and heart necklaces and pearls of our grandparents, and they just grabbed
Handkerchiefs and
yeah, and somehow in that first 24, 48 hours, they made a necklace for me to wear that had all of the strength of these women in
Women.
our family.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah. And then, I wore that for months, truly months. But it was something that I could immediately put on. And I
It was a
truly,
hug.
it did.
It was a
It
hug
was, it was,
from all
yeah.
these women, and you're
Yeah, it was incredible. And what my memory is, Melissa, is that I mean, I know the pain was so deep for y'all, and yet, like my recounting of it is like your smiles, your hugs, your holding the hands. We went downtown Woodstock, and Melanie gave Greta $500 to go shopping, and we all, and they
we
were,
did some retail therapy.
yeah, they were, Melissa and Melanie and Sky are skipping and, just pouring joy and care into Greta.
which
And
Greta needed that at that moment for sure because she was so young.
Yeah.
yeah, and like what were you thinking? Like how did you gain that strength? I've wondered that.
Well, what was so interesting is in that week, I mean, it's an out of body experience for sure, but we all had our roles, like when one of us would break down, another one would swoop in, and it was just this nonverbal agreement that we all had. And, you know, Michele wanted Carter's room to be packed up. And we all kind of looked at each other and assessed. And without words, my dad and I walked up the steps and we just got it done, And I think another piece that shares Carter's person, his spirit, is on his desk was every special rock that he had collected from the Black Hills, every note each of us had ever written him, he had stacked up. My dad had given Carter every birthday silver dollars, and he had a little stack, and everything was just precious. It shows him, his character. Um, I remember all of us, a little comedy out moment in that grief is we all would try and be helpful and pick up each other's things and try and like tidy up, but then you just lose everything and you feel like, I mean, you are losing your mind and you're like, oh my gosh, I just had my purse, where did it go? So our middle sister Melanie, she goes, this is good, this is great, because in grief you actually need something to be annoyed with. So this is so good. We need to be irritated. This is good. So she handed out Ziploc bags to all of us. So instead of carrying
I forgot about
purses, we all had a Ziploc bag so we could see the items. Stuff like that, I
that.
remember though, Michele, and all these people are coming and going, and it just always was a lot. It was just a lot. And Michele, I don't know how you do it, sister of mine, but she just has God in her. Truly, there's no other way to explain it. But as we're all, eating some dinner, someone brought in food, sitting in their kitchen area, Michele is quietly writing Carter's
Eulogy.
like eulogy. Thank
Yeah.
you. That just, but she's just right in there with us in the mix, didn't take herself away to a quiet room. No, she's just right in there, wanted to be. That's just Michele. She's still a part, still, that rock, that solid person. And wow, that is burned in my memory for sure. I remember another moment, and I've told, Melanie and my mom and dad, I don't know how I got to go. I don't even remember, but Michele and Jeremy had to go to the funeral home and choose the things, and somehow I rose to the occasion and I went. Everybody else was, busy doing other things. And so, whoa. In the car, I wrote the obituary. Jeremy edited it. Michele gave some words. So we're doing that in the car. Then we get to the funeral home. You have all these options. And I just am always in awe of this human in front of me because she never once showed anger. Never, when you're deep in that grief, a lot of times people can be unkind to each other. That happens. You kind of see people's true colors in moments like that. And Michele is just truly a walking angel. And I think,
oh gosh.
I no wonder Carter is the person I still say is, because he
Yes.
is very much alive. And it's because of this woman right here.
Well, and I
It's
think that
true.
that's something, she is amazing. I mean, she's still doing that today. I mean, with all of us, here.
Yeah,
But I think that it does. It shows a testament to who she is and who Carter is. But it's amazing how you do rise to the occasion. I
Yeah.
just
yeah,
shared something the other day, and it said everybody with, everybody that's so strong, they've been given a story that made them have to show their strength.
totally,
And it's
totally.
not that we're stronger than the next person. We just
No,
powered through it. And
you
it's
do.
amazing
You
how you
do.
do rise to that occasion. But like you said,
Yep.
sometimes you can be angry and cuss at
Yeah.
people and yell at people. And I'm sure she's had her moments of that. But in the heat of it and in the thing of it, it's a true way to honor who Carter was, is, and his legacy will live on forever. And
Absolutely.
that's because of how Michele does that, for sure.
Absolutely.
And
She
that's,
she kind of set the tone, and we followed and just got
yep.
right in line behind her, and yep, this is what
Well,
we're
and
doing.
that really was I just immediately remember this wash of gratefulness that I was just so glad that Carter was ours.
Mm-hmm.
And that,
Yes.
we could have been the parent to the killer and we weren't. And that I wanted to lean into this, who this beautiful young man was,
Yes.
Yes.
and not get
Absolutely.
caught up in losing who he was simply because I was angry or I was hurt. And, I could do that in private, but that was really the focus. But one of the things, Melissa, I think is just, oh gosh, so incredible is how you've handled keeping Carter's spirit alive with your boys. They were 4 and 2, and there's this precious picture
Oh,
right before we were leaving. Carter scoops up
yeah.
both Bennett and Everett, and he's this 17-year-old muscular,
Yeah.
kid, but man, he
Man
was,
child.
yeah, man child, but he was a kid magnet. He
Oh,
just, oh my gosh, he could not, if there was a baby, he was holding it. If there was
yep.
a toddler, he's racing in the yard with them.
Mhm.
So he scoops up Bennett and Everett, and he's talking to him, and this
Oh,
beautiful picture that we
Faces.
have. Yeah, their
Oh,
whole faces are turned to them, and I mean their eyes and
oh.
their eyebrows are up like, "Who is this amazing human?" I mean, of course,
Yeah.
they knew who he was,
Yes.
but they still were 4 and 2, and those memories get lost, and yet to see Bennett and Everett and to hear them talk about Carter, there is no doubt in their minds that they know who Carter is.
Yeah.
And I mean, tell about what you just told me this
Oh,
week. It was so precious.
so Everett, my younger son, he is, oh my gosh, a little old soul and loves cars, loves history, has this just innate memory and can,
It's unreal.
remember cars, their make, their model. It's wild. So he comes down the hallway and
And
he's
how
like,
old is he
Mom,
right now, Melissa?
he's 8.
Yeah.
Mom, what was Carter's favorite car? And I'm like, geez, I don't know. I'd have to ask Shell, but he loved a good pickup truck. Okay, yeah. Okay, runs down the hallway, comes back down. Mom, what was Carter's favorite toy? I'm like, oh, he loved these rescue hero little figurines, and it was a
Mhm.
fireman, a policeman. Yeah. Okay, runs down the hallway. I don't know what he's doing when he goes
Yeah.
back to the hallway, but he just had these burning questions that he had to know about Carter at that moment. And right away, when I got back from Atlanta from Carter's funeral, I am a hot mess. It's summer, so I'm home with the boys and they're little. So I'm trying to get them out of the house at the park all the time. And that's when all the signs from Carter began. And so any hawk that I'd see, I'd lose my mind and roll down the window. Carter! Hi, Carter! So
Ah.
then the boys would join in. Hey, Carter! Yeah! We'd clap for the hawk. People are looking at us like, what? Here are these two little munchkins in the back. We're cheering out the window for this bird. Oh, and I have videos of the boys in their car seats and Coldplay. It like every song on his Head Full of Dreams album, we believe that it's just Carter. It's
Yeah.
Carter sending us these songs. And so when this particular song would come on the radio, Everett and Bennett started this fist pump action to the Carter song. And it was just this dance we did to celebrate Carter and to make it fun. And the boys just were like, whoa, my mom is wild and wacky, but we're joining in.
We're we're
We're
in
going
it.
with it. I
We're
love
in
it.
it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. And they do. They talk about him. They ask questions. I mean, it's such a beautiful thing about that.
I
And I know
honestly,
it had to be really hard to tell the boys what happened, and they were too young to know all the details, and all
yeah.
that conversation is still going to be down your road, your path with them.
hmm So
Um,
when they were little, I told them that Carter had been hurt really badly and he was in heaven. So that's kind of how I handled it. But my little Bennett, who is 10, is always listening, always right there, around the corner listening. And so he overheard a lot of conversations. And so one night he came to me and was like, Mom, did Carter get hurt by a bad guy? And I said, Oh, buddy, yeah, he did. He did. And he's like, and no one can help him get better. I was like, no, but his angels took him. They took him to heaven. And after we had that conversation, I truly believe that Carter sat with the boys at night. I just have this sense because every morning Bennett would say things like wild things like Mom Bennett, Mom Carter's in heaven and he is building things. And Carter wanted to be an engineer. And I was like,
mhm.
wow, that is awesome, buddy. Yep.
Bennett wouldn't have known that he wanted to be an engineer.
No,
He's
no. And he's
4.
like, yep, Mom, Carter told me he's building things in heaven. I was like, wow, wow. I mean, you just can't write these. You can't even make this up. I mean, these little
Well,
people.
and do you remember that that one morning where Bennett said about the bad guy that he had taken a camera, and that was
Yes.
part of, we didn't know that that he had taken photos and had stolen a camera, and Bennett was the one that told Melissa,
I
and
forgot
Melissa
about that.
told me. We told the police, and they were scouring because he had just thrown things out of his window as he was trying to, get rid of evidence. They found the camera. He had taken the film, so we never saw it, but the camera that was Carter's, that my dad had given him, it was a camera my dad had got when he was overseas in Vietnam, and had given this camera to my dad, and they found it. And Bennett was the one that
Yeah,
woke up and told Melissa that one morning. Unreal.
it is. And um, being here in Rapid City, it's just so hard because I want nothing more to be with my sister, and Greta and Jeremy, um, but and I didn't know if I was telling this story in the right manner to my boys. I didn't know. And, I remember asking the pediatrician, like, this is the situation. And,
Mhm.
you know, there are my Bennett is asking a lot of questions. What is the right thing to say to a little buddy,
Mhm.
And our pediatrician said, Melissa, there's no wrong way to say this, but I want to encourage you to tell your children the truth,
Mhm.
and that don't sugarcoat it. Just tell them that he was killed, and he's not with us anymore, and our hearts are forever changed because of that. And I remember feeling like this weight lifted because I was always trying to make it sound better than it was, or to
Mhm.
kind of shield them from this thing. And the moment that Ken and I sat the boys down and told them, that Carter had been shot by this boy, and the both Bennett and Everett cried, and Bennett said, "Mom, I hate that happened, and I wish that wouldn't have happened, but I'm really sad for that kid too.
Mhm.
Like his life's done." I was like, "It absolutely is, and we can be sad for him too. That's absolutely true. But what we're going to focus on, we're not focusing on that part of the story. We're focusing on Carter's life and who he is to us."
I love
and
that. Oh
and
my gosh.
I know, I do
Such
too.
wisdom.
Um,
Oh my.
I know
Oh,
it. How do what advice could you give other, siblings, aunts, and uncles about how to take care of you and still, put love and attention towards us who have lost somebody? What do you do?
oh, gall. I think showing up, is so important. Um, just calling, talking about Carter, talking about your loved one who's passed, um, bringing him into conversations. A lot of people, you worry like, oh, they're getting sick of me talking about. I don't care. He is the light of our life, and I'm going to tell the funny stories. You know, I'm going to say these hard conversations, and if it makes that person feel comfortable, they're not meant to be in our circle, you know. um, so I think talk about your loved one, often and all the time, and call your sibling and show
Well,
up.
how did you take care of yourself? Because I
Mhm.
mean, you had
I don't
major
know.
grief as well, trauma, grief, all the things. How have you taken care of yourself in this?
I think, as we all do, I find like peace in being outside And so I was constantly taking my boys, and we'd go to the park, or we'd go just in the backyard, putting on music. I think Michele gave great advice to us early on. Set aside your grief time.
Mhm.
And that, because I had to be kind of on,
Yes.
and
And Melissa's a
be,
teacher too, so
yeah. But I think what Michele has led us through this journey is, when that grief strikes, because it can come any moment, just let it and honor it. And then also, it's okay then to put it aside and then keep going. I
Feel
think
the
that, yeah, just
feel the
honor that.
feels.
feel the
Yeah,
feels.
feel the feels. That has helped a lot, is letting it. I think I did go to a counselor just once. Yeah, I don't know. I think the
You
the
got a
good piece.
tattoo.
I did get a tattoo. That
Is it a
was really
hawk?
liberating.
What is it?
It's so Carter gave a baseball to Bennett for his first birthday, and in Carter's handwriting on the baseball, he said, "I can't wait to play with you, buddy." It's so
Oh,
precious. I know. So I took that baseball to the tattoo artist and said, "I need this handwriting on me." And so they took, made a little tattoo design in his handwriting, and it
I
says,
love
"Add
it.
more love to the world," and has the
Oh,
hawk.
I love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you know,
So
I had
that was
somebody
good.
say this. See, I go off script. Michelle's all good and like, this is what the agenda is. And then there's Amy that just comes in and like,
Hey, we need the wrecking ball.
yeah, I was going to say
Yeah.
tornado, but wrecking ball, I like it too. Um, so I've had people say to me before, in it very close to Alec, that have known him since he was birth, whatever family, that have said, "I'm so sorry that I'm upset. I shouldn't be more upset than you." And
Mm.
I just think and I'm like, no, you loved him too. Like, it almost brings
Yeah.
me comfort to know that
Mhm.
they are upset
Mhm.
as well. Like, have you ever
Yeah.
felt like I shouldn't be more upset than her? Or does that make sense how I'm saying that?
Yeah. I never felt that.
Yeah.
Never, but I know what you're saying. I
Like, you look at
I
Michele and think she's so strong, and here I'm a mess.
yeah, I
How
do
is this?
understand that. Yeah. I mean, I think we all have taken turns in that mess,
Yes.
Mhm.
and helped each other through it. And that doesn't mean that I shouldn't have been that.
Yeah.
They're just, it is that dark and heavy,
Yeah.
and it feels like you're drowning sometimes.
Mhm.
But just allowing yourself to feel the feels. That
And I'll tell
is,
any
Yeah,
other aunt
and
or sibling or anybody out there, it's okay that you're upset. And it's okay
yeah.
for like me or Michele to see you upset about it. Like,
yeah,
Mhm.
it,
I mean,
I don't want to say it's a good thing,
Mel-
but it is. It's a good thing.
yeah,
Like, we need to know that
Mhm.
people loved our children just as much
Mhm.
as we did. Like, it's not a
Oh,
competition with who's sadder
yes.
and all of
and
that.
I
So
Like,
remember
true.
it's
those
So
first few
okay.
true.
years, of you, walking this with your boys. Um, and I remember phone calls, and you would just be destroyed and you'd be bawling and not being able to talk. And, Melissa, we have that relationship where we're not, she shared that because, she needed me and I needed her,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and you're right, Amy, like that does strangely fill us up,
Yeah.
that,
Mhm.
oh, your
It's not that we
child
want you to
is
hurt, but
someone.
it does.
Yes,
Yes.
Right.
right, exactly.
Right. Right.
Um, and one of the things I want you to share, just as we're kind of, finishing up, is the ways in which you celebrate Carter, because that is something that people in Melissa's life say about her, is she is just, from the kids that she teaches to the parents to neighbors. she is the hostess with the mostest and just brings this light to,
Oh,
I mean,
Michele.
she just, when she's in the presence, like, you're the focus. And she does that for her students. And Melissa has just found some ways to, not just with her boys, but to make Carter a presence in other ways. So just share a couple of those ways that you
Oh,
celebrate
God.
Carter.
Well, I mean, as a teacher, I think it's important to share parts of you that are real to your students. And so I always share with my class the story of Carter. We do a project around Valentine's Day. It's like a kindness challenge, and we say how we're going to add more love to the world. I have these like my most precious items in my classroom. Carter would always come and help me set up my classroom, and he made these posters for me, and it has like a poem for every holiday in his handwriting. And
Stop it.
so I yes, I have that, as like a huge part of our classroom community. So Carter is very much well and alive in my classroom, um, with my friends, my adult friends. He is very much a part of my friendships. I have a dear friend who loves to run, and she was running when it was snowy out, and she wrote "Add more love" in the snow and sent me a picture.
Mm-mm.
I think people, just because they love us, they in return love Carter, and
Mhm.
that is so special. Um, and I have made it my goal, I guess, my mission, to do my best to live big like Carter, to love big, to say what's on your heart, to not withhold, those words like "I love you," to say
Mhm.
it and mean it. And I do believe that as a teacher, it's such an awesome way to pass on his legacy, for sure.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Ugh, it's amazing.
I love you, Melissa. I've
Oh,
always found
man.
so much good
I
things
love
about
you,
you, and
Amy.
just sitting here and talking
Oh.
to you, and just y'all's bond, and just all of it. I just love it. I love that
Oh,
y'all have each other,
Me
and the
too.
Melanie too. But I just love the bond
yes.
that y'all have in the family, and just the core.
Yeah. Gosh.
Yeah,
We
we are
the
lucky.
the blessing in this, and I'm so honored that I get to speak on here. Um, but I love that we can honestly say that we have no regrets
Mhm.
with
I
Carter, that we
I love
always
that.
said that we loved him and we had the most fun when we were together. We we had fun.
Yeah,
And I
and he
feel
knew
really
it.
good about that.
He
And he
I
did.
do.
knew it too. He knew the
Yeah.
love that all of you had for him, and that he had for y'all. And that, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that what you just said right there, that you have no regrets
Yeah.
whatsoever.
Of course, you
I,
want more time and you
I,
want more
oh my
fun and
gosh.
adventures. But the time we did have, I'm
And I
so
think
proud
that
of it.
helps
Yeah.
bring peace too, to know that I did everything,
Mhm.
that we enjoyed every moment we had together.
We did. We
And
really
that's
did.
something that the three of us sisters really try really hard, particularly with the men in our lives, they're, they feel like they should have protected, or that there's,
Yes.
um, that they could have done more. And that's something with our dad in particular that,
Mm,
I think the three of us really in our own ways, but with our mom too, is just making sure they hear from us. Gosh,
mm,
remember when you did this with Carter?
mm-hmm.
Oh gosh, remember when, in what, helping them walk back through those memories,
Yes,
but
that's
like pointing
really
at what
good.
they did in those
Yes.
memories.
Well, you're
And
absolutely correct, because that's something
yeah,
that, the
Hmm.
men, they're the protectors. I couldn't keep them safe.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And Melissa's
Yep.
really, both of Melissa and Melanie are such good kind of like historic, well, all of us in our family, these historian storytellers, that my dad is just the most brilliant of all.
And he
And can
started the
tell us,
trend. He started it.
oh,
Yeah.
Told
and,
y'all
I
well.
mean, it's a long line of Hurleys that are storytellers.
I love it.
But that's so important. I think, that's something that when I'm with Melissa, that she really gifts to me. Because there's so many pieces that you forget, of
You do.
course, as a mom and dad, and for
Mhm.
Greta too. And so for, my sibling to share that, those memories. And, like I had forgotten, Melissa, that you were sick that Saturday, that the night before, that Sunday night.
Yeah.
Just hearing, just keeping, I guess, talking about that, even when it's hard, even when it's sad.
Mhm.
And somehow that sadness gets kind of quilted into
Mm.
something that's really beautiful. It's
Yes.
amazing. I love you.
I love you.
I love you
This was
both now.
awesome. Thank
I
you
wish I
so
could be my
much.
sisters.
Oh, I have my Carter picture here,
I
and
love
I've
it.
lit a little candle for him.
Oh,
Yeah. Thank you, guys. This is just an honor. And
oh, Melissa, thank you.
man, warrior moms you are. And I just admire and wrap you all up in a
Oh,
hug.
well, thank you
Yeah,
so
Well,
much.
thank you.
All
Give
right.
all your boys a smooch.
I will.
Yes.
Until
Nice to
next
see you
time.
and meet you, Amy.
You too, Melissa. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
All right,
Bye.
Michele, I guess until next time, we'll have another sibling
Until
on one
next
day,
time.
right?
That's right.
Awesome. All right. Well,
Bye.
thank you both. Bye.
Bye.